Hey, it is, oh man, you gotta pay attention. It must be July 17th. Got it. Oh, lucked out. It has been an interesting week around here. Well, I should never say that, because why would it not be interesting? Some great things going on the forum. I love the thread about the gaggle of guitars question, or whatever you want to call it. Coming up with that. Very cute, Michelle, and thanks for again getting people to I don't know, just think outside the box about oddball things. So very cool. What I want to talk about today, let's see, I've got a few things. I'll tell you what happened, what's going on at the with the recent developments. Songs we had. I do want to talk about a bunch of questions that came up. One about finger rolls, particularly with Never Going Back, and I hope I get to that. I want to talk. Well, no, camp. I'm going to start with that really quickly because we're 5 or 6, 7 weeks out or something like that now, and I'm going to try to get together a thread, or at least a recommended list of play-along songs that I think we did that last year, but I'm going to try to revive that. And so if I forget, if that doesn't appear like over the weekend, somebody remind me. There are a lot of distractions kind of going on right now around in the with friends and family. So let's see, what did we have? This is an interesting thing because this song, I was just looking through the recommended lesson list, and along about the third page in the 300 or 400s, there was a request from Dermot saying, "Hey, how about Goodbye Blue Sky?" And I was thinking, wait a minute, I know I did a lesson on Goodbye Blue Sky, and so I tracked it down, and I only did a partial one, and it was like in the really early days of the site, like some of those where I'm like in front of the fireplace. I don't think it was one of those, but it was close. And so I watched it, and I thought, oh man, I kind of, in that one, I said, I will get to a more a more complete lesson on this. Here it is, 6 or 7 years later, finally did it. So I still do check the recommended lesson list at least once a week, and sometimes I dig back into the page 87 or something like that, where there's some bizarre requests. So all right, now I've got to tell you a little bit of history on that one, because Larry, who all our campers know Larry, and Larry's recorded a lot of videos for us and things. Every once in a while he comes in and he says, I was looking for the right way to play this, and I found 18 guys on YouTube and they all played it different and none of them sounded right. And so I thought, wow, you know what, that's the gauntlet was laid down. So I thought, okay, well, I will, let's check it out. And yeah, so anyway, that's how that one materialized. It was it was sort of off my radar, but I thought, it's such a classic, iconic. I think that's even the word I used in the description. So I want to thank Vanessa for the lesson, the Joe Bonamassa lesson. Speaking of Larry, this is way too much speculation and spilling the beans. But Larry has been shooting a bunch of videos for us to put up at the electric site at Totally Electric Guitars, with Guitar Builder, a guy named George Biseglia, and guys that build effects and things like that. So we're hoping to get all that up at TEG soon. But he also there's a connection with Joe Bonamassa. It's kind of interesting that showed up this week, because he's going to be here in a week or two, and the builder who Larry's been following, shooting videos with, George, has kind of an appointment to show Joe a guitar that he's kind of building for him, hoping that he'll like it enough to want to keep it. So it's still kind of in the planning stages, and I don't have all the details yet, but we might even get a little footage of George and Joe looking at George's guitar that he hopes Joe will like and want. Anyway, so we also hope to have a lot of these videos up at TEG soon. I'll keep you posted on that. We've got them just around the corner with the blog starting to happen over there. What else? Oh, this was really cool too. The resurrection of old collaborations. It was a joy to look at. Between If You Could Read My Mind, which I happen to get a review up on this week too. Bill, great job on that. As I mentioned in the review, it's kind of I really hope to see some of the, like you said in another thread, that get into applying some of those. So But the old collaboration of If You Could Read My Mind that included the black shirt video of everybody, well, almost everybody, wearing black and Vanessa on keyboards, along with Kevin and Jay, I believe. Is that, yeah, that's who was in that, right? Anyhow, it was really cool to see those things again and get to bring new life and between that and Autumn Leaves with Karina and Vanessa, very cool. Let's see what else. Oh, there was one more thing that, and I think I mentioned this in the thread about it. I really appreciate all the comments that people have come up with on that one for God Only Knows. This is a song haunting. I mean, I have loved this song since I first heard it, which was I probably didn't hear it when it came out. I was just a little young then, but as I started listening to more stuff in the later 60s and early 70s, definitely became aware of it, and then arranged it I played it in concert quite a few times, and it goes over well. It's an unusual. Ordinarily, if I make an acoustic arrangement of a vocal song, I wouldn't play the whole thing like with the same arrangement, top to bottom, all the verses, all the choruses. Would usually condense it a little bit because you don't really need to hear all of them. That's like with the album I did of Beatles tunes. I shortened each song a little bit, and that's why I put them into medleys, so that we'd had 3, 4, 5 minutes worth of stuff that might have 2 or 3 songs in it. Instead of playing, it doesn't make sense to play a completely instrumental version of Can't Buy Me Love without possibly, which I was not doing in the day, without creating instrumental sections that, like, just taking some leads, making up a solo that was kind of different, which I did with songs like Ain't Misbehavin' on the next album and Chattanooga Choo Choo and stuff like that. But those were jazzier tunes. So with God Only Knows, it just seems, even as a complete instrumental, going from the introduction into the first verse, into the second verse, into the whole little instrumental part, and then a third verse and the outro. So it's rare that I would take a song that is 3 minutes long and make a 3-minute arrangement that kind of just matches it, trying to incorporate instrumentally as much as what you hear in the studio recording. But that's what I did with that one, and love to play it. If I don't play it for a few months, I always forget this part. Yeah, especially this part. That's one little part I regret in the take that I got of it the other day. And that little part right there. This is a really subtle little thing, but if you go back and play that part in the video and listen to what I just played right there, 95% of the time I do something that I just did there that I didn't do on the one that you saw. See if you can figure out what it is. I'm actually really happy with the way with the way I played it there, even though that was like the first time it ever came out without one little nuance that I just played in there for you. Okay, enough of the Ellery Queen mystery for this week. What else did we have going on? 3 more quick things, and then I will get out of here and let you get on with the rest of your day or weekend or whatever. Willem, great question about Angie and putting in some of the fills, and you're right, the news would have been a great place to do this. I just haven't had a chance to. Hopefully next week. Remind me next week. Do like an updated post on that yeah, so I will try to get to that because I just didn't have a chance to listen to it. I'm sure it's very simple, some of the little things that you're hearing in there. So let me think. Oh, don't even try to fake it. This is dumb. Stop, stop, stop. I covered that in the... Anyway, the intro probably has something like that in it, but I'll come back to that. Let's see. Matt, thanks for raising your head last weekend and asking people about improvements to the site. Some of the suggestions that you have in there, we are well on our way towards getting everything rebuilt and working better. Well, it'll be a complete rebuild. It won't look anything like what we're having here, but it still may take us a while. I don't want to start speculating. Some great suggestions in there. Some that are probably not possible. I think Dean, the idea of being able to superimpose your own videos. I'm not sure. The rolling tab thing is something we have been thinking about, where the tab's on the screen. But I think when I get complaints from students who say like, oh, I went to this site and saw that, and you had to be watching the tab on the screen and couldn't watch the video at the same time. So I'm not sure whether that is possible or not. Oh, well, it's definitely possible, and we may be going that route, in just the interest of saving paper, you know, save a leaf, maybe a whole tree. And anyway, so some of those suggestions, really good. And then so this question came up on Never Going Back Again, and it was just posted on the page of it. But I do want to talk about this because it was somebody who was having a problem with kind of the 3-note rotation while the bass is going in 2s. And I think you should just practice this as a separate move, like take it out of the song and do something easy, like take an A minor chord and visualize, or actualize maybe, 2 bass notes going back and forth. And then, along with that, think about playing your 3 fingers in a rotation of 3, every other 8th note. In the case of Never Going Back, it's 8ths and 16ths, but it doesn't really matter too much. So if our fingers are doing this, and you could practice this without the bass notes first, but just tapping, so you're feeling. This would be a really useful exercise and skill to just work on coordination of your fingers, but also independent brain control of your fingers. You know, it's pat your head, rub your stomach. Well, get one thing going. Try it in reverse, maybe. So right there, I was going 1, 2, 3 with my fingers. So the first finger was played with the first thumb, then the middle finger was played on the and, then the third finger was played with the second thumb, and then the first finger came in on the next and. So that would have been that rotation. Then the next rotation would start, or the next beat, the next bass note would start with the middle finger. Then have the third finger on the and, then you'd have a pinch with your thumb and first finger, and the next time around, the pinch with the low bass note starts with the third finger. But you could reverse that. 3, 2, 1. So that would be a really, well, first of all, and that's what happens, of course, in Never Going Back Again. So today's exercise of the week. Or I had to change the pattern up a little bit because it was getting too monotonous. But okay, that's it. Next week, all should be well. The week after, I may be traveling. We might have to miss a week of news towards the end of July. July? We're still in July. Yeah. Okay. I could remember this. Should have played it recently. Anyway, Dallas Rag, one of the coolest ragtime pieces. Well, one of the first ragtime pieces I ever learned. Every 6 months, it's probably been why? I guess we could track down old news where I probably played that, but it's been a long time. Okay. I I will see you next week. Okay, that's it for today.